So, what day is it today?
Tuesday?
Wrong. It's NWA Day.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Attention, everyone. Welcome to the greatest wrestling program in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, let's party.
It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J. Cal, and each and every Tuesday, I come right here to talk to you, that hashtag NWA fam, to talk all things National Wrestling Alliance. And today is no different, I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, friends. I'm here to talk pro wrestling. Here to talk NWA. I'm here to talk NWA with you. As we are approaching the new season of NWA Power on Roku Sports that airs live Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, right on the Roku Sports app, and a replay almost following immediately afterwards. And already the shenanigans are coming in. People are calling me Kevin Owens. I can't stand it. Because you guys know my name is J. Cal, right? You guys know that. You guys know who I am. You know who I am. I sound like Bully Ray all of a sudden. No, Michael. It's not Kevin Owens time. It's J. Cal time. Real quick, we do have to talk about the Tyrus Joke of the Week presented by Willie Bowen. His love for pro wrestling extends 4 decades. And he says, hey, J. Cal, you know what Tyrus's weight as a newborn baby was? 179 pounds. I wrestled at 179 pounds back in the day. I can't believe I used to weigh 179 pounds. You guys don't even know, man. I used to be a svelte pro wrestling athlete. Yeah, I got a haircut yesterday. It's svelte. It's when it's combed, it even looks nicer. But all I've done today is go to the gym and take a shower. So, dude, we're doing good, man. I hope you're doing good today too. Of course, we are talking the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Miss Mia, it's, you know what? The thing is, right? We all get older. We all get better. We age like fine wines over here. And calling Jay Kevin Owens on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Lesh Dog, let me have it on 2 different platforms. I'm very happy with my progress. If you, Miss Mia says, mine is 2 kids. What's your excuse? I've had 3 kids, Miss Mia. No, my excuse is I never kept up I never kept it up. I would work out and then gain weight, and then work out and then gain weight, work out and gain weight. And although this isn't a health and life study show, I own all of that myself. Like I've not been kind to myself over the few years. I've finally in a great place mentally, and I'm getting in a great place physically. I started in 2024 going to the gym when I was about 265 pounds. Today, your boy stepped on the scale weighing 231 pounds, not just losing fat, but also gaining muscle. And that's, look, I got people calling me Kevin Owens in the chat, but your boy Jay's going to look like he ate Kevin Owens and turned it into muscle. So that's the goal. Yeah, Miss Mia, it is the goal. And like my clothes are fitting, like this shirt is a lot bigger on me than it used to be. And I'm on a good plan. I'm not starving myself. Everything that I'm doing is sustainable that I could probably do for the rest of my life. So it's all about consistency and discipline and sustainability. And I'm there. I'm getting there. And I have some ways to go. The plan is 40 pounds by the end of the year, and I'm down to 30 pounds before the end of the year. I think I could do it. So, damn, Lush, damn, woo, yikes. Also, don't do munchies at late at night. It's a bad idea. J.R. Garza, welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out. Although, don't call me Kevin, bro. It's J Cal. You're back. Yeah, it's fun stuff. Hey, it's great the way you guys make me feel certain things about myself. Appreciate that. Anyways, tonight is a big night for the NWA. This is the premiere episode of Power following their last signature live event. For those of you who don't know, the NWA runs its regular television tapings and then have additional episodes of Power. That Power is the name of the TV program for the NWA. The additional episodes are filmed they're treated like a pay-per-view, but are freely distributed as just regular episodes of the TV. There really isn't much of a difference, except for their regular Power episodes are filmed in Tampa at the PBS Studios in Tampa, Florida, where their signature live events will take place in anywhere the NWA runs. They most recently were at the 2300. Right now, AEW is working at the 2300. The next signature live event for the NWA will be their 77th anniversary show that was filmed back in August. That took place in August in the upstate New York. They have their next signature live event slated for recording in October, which will be Saul Win. We'll talk a little bit about some of the matches that are already been announced for Saul Win. It's starting to look good. And I had a nightmare last night, and I'll tell you guys about that momentarily. But I will just get to it right now. For the next signature live event, Saul Win 3, it'll be taking place at the Center Stage in Atlanta. Center Stage is a great historical wrestling venue where WCW used to tape a lot of their worldwide TV tapings. I got to go to Center Stage back in 2021, post-COVID, to check out Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. I had a great time. It's a great venue, and the NWA will be there on October the 17th. Now to my nightmare. One of the matches that have been announced for the Saul Win pay-per-view is going to be Trevor Murdoch taking on Alexander Hammerstone. I had a nightmare last night that Trevor Knox tragically passed away unexpectedly. And my dreams are almost non-existent. I almost never can remember my dreams. Very, very rarely do I remember dreams. And Miss Mia, I get about 4 hours of sleep a night. So it's rare. It's not a lot of sleep anyways. I dreamed that Trevor Murdoch passed away unexpectedly. Nothing to do with wrestling. It was very tragic and sad. But the thing that I was very sad about, and a lot of wrestling fans were sad about, is that we didn't get that match between Hammerstone and Trevor Murdoch. And I know that sounds very cold and bad, but that's how excited I am about this match. It's how good this match I think is going to be. Hammerstone is a beast. You guys have seen him. He's worked for NXT. He's been in TNA wrestling. He's a former MLW world champion. He's top notch. Why he isn't signed somewhere else, I don't know. But in the meantime, I hope the NWA uses him to every extent they can. He had a great match with Silas Mason at the last show, the last Crockett Cup. And now we're getting, at the Halloween event, we're getting Hammerstone and Trevor Murdoch. So I'm very excited about that match. It was a trip that I literally woke up and checked my phone to make sure that he was okay. That's how realistic it was. And I never have realistic dreams like that. That was crazy. But yeah, so this week on Power, one of the coolest things, one of the things I'm most excited about is that we're going to see the return of the Pope. For a lot of you guys who've been watching the NWA lately or started watching during the pandemic, you didn't know who the Pope is. Maybe you don't know who the Pope is, but the Pope first of all, the Pope was, it's kind of funny. Earlier I was talking about the WWE and the Pope, his name is Elijah Burke, wrestled in the WWE, and he joined the ECW roster after being promoted out of Ohio Valley Wrestling. And he was part of the new breed of ECW. And Vince McMahon even declared Elijah Burke the chosen one. Obviously, that didn't last very long. After he left the WWE, he signed with TNA Wrestling, was a prominent figure not only in the ring, but also on commentary, and has a ton of charisma. The guy on the mic is probably undefeated. And when he debuted for the NWA under Billy Corgan and the NWA Power, the version that we got of Elijah Burke was the Pope. He was looking to find his 4 horsemen. That's what he kept saying. I'm looking for my 4 horsemen. And so it looked like he was playing the role of a manager in the first 2 seasons. And it was leading to a showdown between Elijah Burke and Eddie Kingston. Now, that never happened because then we had hit with the global pandemic and Eddie Kingston signed with AEW. And when the Pope came back, when the NWA came back, the Pope was put into a feud with then NWA television champion Zicky Dice. And just to kind of paint the picture, the first NWA TV champion in the modern era was a young gentleman by the name of Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks won a tournament to become the first NWA TV champion. Held that title for a whole 2 days, but more like 3 weeks of television or 4 weeks of television. Ended up losing the title to Zicky Dice. And then the whole world shut down. Zicky Dice being TV champion literally shut down the entire world. They never had a rematch. Ricky Starks ended up getting signed to AEW. So what do you do with the TV champion? What do you do with Zicky Dice? You put him into a storyline where he teamed with Effie to take on the team of the Pope and Eric Watts. Eric Watts, SoCal wrestling guy, former United Wrestling Network Heritage champion, great talent, big dude, and was hoping to see a lot from that. They teamed up once the match was over. Then we got a Zicky Dice versus Pope feud for the TV title. It was one match. Pope won it, brought the TV back to the NWA when the NWA Power restarted in 2021 post-pandemic. Then we got the Pope being the best TV champion we've had in the NWA. Literally, if he wasn't defending the title, they were building matches to face him. We'd also see him on commentary during those matches. He was eloquent. He was a fantastic wrestler. And it almost felt like they were going to build to a Pope versus Nick Aldis match. In fact, there's even t-shirts that were printed out that had his face, Aldis, and Pope's face, the TV champion versus the world champion. We thought we were going to get it. We never got it. And sadly, after the NWA kind of squandered what the Pope was to the NWA, he quietly exited the company, but not before competing in 2 different Crockett Cups, one teaming with the Mims and the other teaming with JTG, Jay the God, which both teams were fantastic. Again, the Pope is a great worker, and now he's returning. So I'm very excited to see the Pope return to the NWA this week. You know, he had a rivalry with Tyrus. Tyrus was the one that took the TV title off of him. And we are really hoping to see the Pope get his opportunity. And we might see that now. The Pope did challenge Matt Cardona for the World's Heavyweight Championship, but it was just a TV taping. It wasn't a pay-per-view or anything. I do want to shout out our boy Jeremy of the Championship Wrestling from Jeremy, also known as Jeremy from the Other Alliance guys. Today, Jeremy celebrates his 29th birthday, and I want to say happy birthday, Jeremy. Thank you for everything that you do here on the Alliance blog channel, including the Other Alliance guys, how you've helped promoted this podcast and all the podcasts that we do here on the Alliance blog. I appreciate you. You're a gem of a human being. I'm better for knowing you. Thanks for being a part of my alliance, and I'm glad that you're here. Happy birthday. I hope the wife, kids, and even grandkids spoil you today. And that is all I have to say about Jeremy. Old School Run Escape says, Kevin Owens! How's your neck, pal? If I was Kevin Owens, I'd probably have a bad neck, but because I'm J-Cal, I'm fine, man. Look, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I'm not Kevin Owens, guys. I'm J-Cal. I don't normally do that on this podcast, but hey, whatever, right? I got Legos. Dope. I love Legos. I have so many Legos that I haven't even started building yet. And I'm kind of afraid to build this one, Jeremy. Because, like, as soon as I open it up out of the box, like, I'm going to actually have to do it. But, like, this was like my birthday present last year. And I know that it'll take me the rest of my life to do it. But I'm going to form Voltron one of these days. So, okay, let's talk about some of the matches that are happening on Power this week, because, of course, the Pope returning is only just one facet of this week's episode. I feel like there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. KJ Smoke says, but if you dressed up like KO and went to a WWE event, they would not be able to tell. You might be right, KJ. You might be right. But I've dressed up as Kevin Owens before, and I don't feel like I'd want to do that at a wrestling show. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a cosplay guy. It's kind of weird for me. I know a lot of people do it and love it. It's weird for me. Well, cool, KJ. That's good to hear. Let's talk about some of the wrestling matches that are happening this week on Power. Again, there is a lot. With the Signature Live events, we normally get a higher caliber type of match. Going back to Power, we're getting some more casual matches, I guess. These matches aren't exactly setting the world on fire. And we're seeing a lot of debuting faces. And furthermore, we only had 2 matches on the last 2 episodes of Power each. This week, we have at least 4 matches that are scheduled to be on this week's Power. The first of which will be the former NWA television champion Carson Bartholomew Drake. Are you guys familiar with Carson Bartholomew Drake? If you are, you're one of the few, because a lot of people don't. But he is one of the standouts of the NWA and the territory system. He has been on. He is currently the NWA Joe Kazana Promotions Southeastern champion, and he, like I said, he did hold the TV title for almost a year. Had a lot of successful defenses while being champion. But he will take on, Carson Drake takes on the Dungeon's Midas Black. I'm not super familiar with Midas Black, and I didn't have an opportunity to do a lot of research on Midas Black. But my understanding is that this one kind of sets up the ball in motion for Carson Drake for this season of Power. So hopefully it's a good deal. Next up, we have the matchup. A women's match. We have Kylie Paige, the pretty prima donna, the sister of the current NWA Women's World Champion Kenzie Paige, taking on the debuting powerhouse of Gabby Forza. Now, again, I'm not super familiar with Gabby Forza either, but what I will tell you is this. The NWA is in need of some solid female competitors. They established a women's television title and women's tag team titles way before they needed to. And I'm all about having the women have the same opportunities as the men. I'm all about women having the opportunities to showcase their talents in wrestling. If we look at some of the other promotions out there, I think the argument can be made that the NXT women's division in the WWE is probably one of the top women's divisions of all pro wrestling. AEW has a very solid division. SmackDown and Raw have a very solid division. TNA has a very solid division. And the NWA, which still has Kenzie Paige as the women's world champion, and then a bunch of other talent. And talent that we haven't even seen on television for a while. Like Big Mama seemingly has disappeared. We haven't seen Big Mama make a return to the NWA yet, which is disappointing. She's a former TV champion. Had one title defense televised. We also have, there's Natalia Markova, who's set to wrestle for the Women's World Championship at the 77th anniversary, which I'm sure this season of Power will build up to that event. You have Kylie Paige, who is the scrappiest of all the Paige sisters, and I can't wait to see what she does this season of Power. But I just feel like they need more women in the division. And, recently, within the last year, we had Hollywood Haley J, we had Tiffany Nieves, and we had a lot of other like tag teams. We had Ella Envy, we had the King Bees, we had the Money Birds, and now it feels like all that's gone. So I'm hoping that we get a great debut from Gabby, who's supposed to be a powerhouse. I'm not super familiar with her, but adding some brawn to the women's division, I think, will certainly help it. And now that also the departure of Maxine Paler from the NWA means that there's more opportunities in the women's division as well, which I think that's actually kind of exciting, and I'm rooting for that. We also have the matchup of Thrillbilly Silas Mason making his return to Power, coming off that big victory over Hammerstone at the Crockett Cup. Thrillbilly Silas Mason put the challenge out that he's coming for Tom Latimer, and he's coming from the 10 pounds of gold. We know that match is going to take place at the 77th anniversary show. So watching Silas Mason take on newcomer Christiano Argento. Again, don't know much about this guy. So far, all three of these matches feel like cannon fodder almost. Like these might just be squash matches. At least that's how it feels right now. We'll see. As I'm looking at the poster for the event, and you can find that on the NWA social media. I mean, this guy, Christiano, let me get his name right, Argentino. He kind of looks like maybe he's like the mascot for a pizza chain delivery, like Little Caesars or something. None of these people look overwhelmingly like, oh, we're going to get a blowaway show. This might very much be some enhancement matches, which is fine. I don't think there's a problem with that. Sup, chat? What's going on, Soto? But I feel like where the NWA might have something interesting going on is their women's championship match. The aforementioned Tiffany Nieves will be teaming with what's her name? I forgot her name. It's TVMA. What's her name? Valentina. There it is. Valentina Rossi. She also has a different name when she's working with WOW. They'll be making their return to Power, defending the women's tag team titles against Clara Carter and Sirena Vale. Knowing the spoilers and seeing some of the results, we know that Sierra Vale will be back in the NWA. Again, I don't know so much about Clara Carter. I'm really this is one of those matches where I think this is interesting. The NWA have had a trouble keeping quality tag team women in the company. Like I said, the Moneybirds seemingly disappeared. We had the Renegade Twins, who are now with the ROH AEW deal. The King Bees, once they lost the titles, they disappeared. Ella Envy left Samantha Starr once they lost the tag titles. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as this gets played out on television. But I think very highly of TVMA and Tiffany and Valentina. They look the part. They have great charisma together. They have great chemistry together. Watching them at the 70th anniversary show, I feel like this is going to be a very good night to watch the NWA Power. So I hope you guys will all take a look at that. Now, real quick, I got to address some people on TikTok because they're just killing me with this Kevin Owens stuff. Caesar says, "What's up, KO? When you coming back?" Thunder says, "So I'm not the only one who thought this was Kevin Owens?" And Caesar says, "Devin Owens." Just look, the name's J-Cal, guys. I'm J-Cal. I'm from the Alliance blog. I'm here to talk NWA right now with you guys. And Big T Big T Big Man's in the chat too. What's up, everybody? Right now, we are covering the National Wrestling Alliance, which you can watch on the Roku app tonight or this afternoon, depending on where you live. The Roku Sports, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. NWA Power. We just kind of ran down some of the matches. Yeah, Big T. You and like 2 other people call me Jay. Everyone else calls me Kevin Owens. Now getting back to the YouTube chat. We got Jeremy's Steve G's in the chat. Steve G is my pal. Steve G is here. What is up, Steve? One of the most supportive viewers on the channel, always commenting on the videos after they're posted. Thank you so much for your support, Steve G. Appreciate that. Wow, Paige is still champion. Shake my head. Well, Steve, in this weird universe that the NWA exists, they film their signature live events. The results get released, but the NWA doesn't treat the show differently until the titles air, until those title matches air. I guess what I'm trying to say is, so Tom Latimer lost the 10 pounds of gold at the 77th anniversary show. Silas Mason is your NWA World's Champion. I know that I'm breaking the fourth wall here. Sorry. Spoiler alerts. Sorry, I should have said it before I started talking, right? Anyways, Silas Mason is your world's heavyweight champion, but this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago during Labor Day, there was an event held in Kentucky. In fact, friend of the show sent in results. Our friend Kyle sent in results for, sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the results right now. Sent in the results from their show in Gettysburg, Kentucky, the Labor Day Wrestling event. And the show is headlined by a world title match between Tom Latimer and Silas Mason. Now, the title match, you're like thinking, oh, cool, it's a return match. We're going to see Silas Mason defend against Tom Latimer. But because the match hasn't aired on television yet, they're still treating Tom Latimer as the world's heavyweight champion. So this is still going in the record book as Tom Latimer being world's heavyweight champion. And this will also continue to spill out when it gets to the Riot Fest in Chicago this next weekend. Those matches, you'll have Kenzie Paige, Tom Latimer, and other NWA competitors competing at the Riot Fest, and they will be recognized as the champions that they are. But they all lost their titles at the 77th anniversary. So it's weird. It's not how I would do it. But then, like, I feel like the problem is they want to treat what you're watching on the Roku app as fresh content. The problem is the NWA taping schedule. We're watching stuff that's literally was recorded a few months earlier. So when we get to the Crockett Cup, or we just finished up the Crockett Cup, that was filmed in May. These TV tapings that we're watching that start this week, those were filmed in July. And the anniversary show was filmed in August. And then there's going to be another TV taping after that was filmed in September. And then Saw Win is filmed in October. We probably won't even see that till like late December, early January. And Patrick, I understand that the WWE did that in the 80s, but in the 80s, like, there wasn't this thing called the internet. There were dirt sheets. Sure, there were like letters. Literally, Meltzer would send you a match, 5-star matches. But I don't know, man. It's to me, it's like the results are out there. The fans know. So you putting the belt back on Tom Latimer for Riot Fest, it feels very disingenuous. They're doing indie shows where he's still the champion. It feels disingenuous. And I feel like that hurts the product because, look, Silas Mason is a hot commodity. And I don't know how much longer the NWA will be able to keep Silas Mason. The guy wrestles a hybrid style of like power wrestling, but he does have some technical aspects to it. The guy knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like, he could choke you out if he needed to. He could work as a shooter if he needed to. And his promos are money. Like, I don't think there's anyone in the NWA currently who can even share the spotlight with Silas Mason when it comes to promos. King Zeus, man, you just nailed me with that. What's up, Kevin? Damn. But yeah, we'll get to more of that in a minute. We still have about 30 minutes left of the show, so we'll talk about more wrestling too. But yeah, but this is kind of like the product. This is a byproduct of being self-produced in-house, being independent. The WWE literally films their production live, and it's available live. Like, all of their shows are taped live. Like, very rarely do you get a taped segment. King Zeus, I get it, man, but you wear the Rey Mysterio mask. You do have that resemblance. Patrick Moore says, hey, did you see NWA Into the Fire? What did you think of it? I heard about it. I did not see it. And it's one of those deals where, like, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Into the Fire was, of course, the name of the Dokken song that appeared on the first episodes of Power. They ended up adopting that name as one of their second pay-per-views. And then now it sounds like it's a segment on the YouTube channel on Mondays, which I think is cool. The concept is a good idea. They're showing like a never before seen match, and they use it to hype up the card for Monday. I think all of that is very, very cool. But I didn't see it, so I don't know what to say about it. Steve G says, yes, AEW has a strong women's wrestling division, but unfortunately TK uses all of them to job to Monet or Storm. Yeah, I mean, that sounds, yeah. I was in TJ a couple weekends ago, and I was in front of the Lucha Libre Museum, and they had this really cool picture of Thunder Rosa painted on the outside of this mural. It looked beautiful. Like, someone really took some time and patience with it. And all I kept thinking is, like, man, remember when she was the hottest person in pro wrestling? Remember WWE offered Thunder Rosa a developmental deal, like, not even a developmental deal. They offered her a referee's job. And she bet on herself, turned it down, became NWA Women's World Champion. Then got an opportunity in AEW, where she was the AEW's Women's Champion, and she was such on fire, one of the hottest prospects. Then her back got hurt, and she hasn't been the same since. And I'm like, man, that's such disappointing for Thunder Rosa. Very disappointing. Soto made it to the pre-party and paying homage to my homage to Rowdy Roddy Piper. We made these Alliance shirts. You could get them on our merch shop if you want to support the live stream. Yeah, the Alliance t-shirt. One of these days, as I get more familiar with their new streaming software, we can actually have little we could put little things up on the screen with a QR code that you could order our shirts directly while watching the stream. And as soon as I figure out how to do that, I think that'll be a lot of fun. Patrick Moore says, hey, the King Bees need to come back. I agree, man. But here's the thing, right? There's got to be supply and demand, right? The NWA needs to want to bring them back as much as they want to come back. And if the King Bees are very content not working for the NWA, then there's nothing to talk about, The King Bees were a phenomenal tag team for the short time that they were in the NWA. Remember, that storyline, though, is they only started teaming once there was an opportunity for them to work in the NWA. They actually feuded in the bevy of Texas promotions that the two were working for. They were feuding for quite a long time before they started teaming, and I think they felt like it was better to be enemies than it was tag team partners. I don't know. I'd like to see them return to the NWA too. I feel like there needs to be more women in pro wrestling. There needs to be more women specifically in the NWA's tag team division. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. Thank you for the Heart Me Dog Pro Wrestling. Appreciate you. Tell Dr. Lawrence Zirconium I appreciate his support. Carissa, I don't even know if you're still watching, but thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I appreciate you jumping on the live. Thank you. Noob says post NWA 77 is pretty underwhelming. That's an interesting take, Noob. And I don't know if I feel that the post 77 is pretty underwhelming because there hasn't been enough. Like, look, we're just getting out of the Crockett Cup. So I don't know I haven't even seen spoilers for the TV taping post 77. Unless you see something that I haven't, and you know my ex, send me a link. I would love to know what happened. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. So thank you for sharing the live, dog. The future tribal chief of WWE. I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking. We're just talking some NWA right now. Chug some Gorilla Mind. Dog Pro Wrestling. What is Gorilla Mind? Right now, I'm drinking a Monster, the Prison Mike edition. Let's see. Sean Mega's in the chat. What's up? JCP has some women that need to be called up. I haven't paid enough attention to JCP. I love the Kazanas. I love Joe. He's been very kind to the show. I love AJ. I hope AJ becomes the next NWA television champion. I really do appreciate that family. I need to watch more Joe Kazana promotions. I need to know who should be called up. And Sean, give me some examples. Who should I be looking for? Kikuchi said, was Power worth it this week? Now, I don't ever watch Power till after the pre-party because I don't want to lead anybody astray. If I see the event live, that's different. But I don't ever want to tell you guys yes or no, you should watch it before Power. After I've watched it, I'll tell you what I think about it. And I'll be honest, the matches themselves aren't super exciting. The women's tag team title match looks really good to me. I think the most thing I'm interested about Power this week is seeing the return of the Pope to the NWA. Again, we talked about that earlier, but the Pope was one of the best parts of the post-COVID NWA. And even leading up to the COVID, his inspiration to form his own Horseman. That's how he said it. Horseman. He's looking for his own horseman. He wanted to make a group to rival the Horsemen. Now, we all thought that was him being a manager looking to manage 4 men to take them to the top of the NWA. But what we would find out later is that, he wanted to find a tag team. At first, it looked like he was going to manage Eddie Kingston and Homicide. The wrestler, that's his name. I didn't. And that never came to fruition, and eventually it looked like we were going to get an Eddie Kingston versus Pope showdown, a match at some point. You got, for those of you that didn't watch NWA at the time, there was a point in time where Eddie Kingston looked like he might be the next NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. There was rumors and speculation and innuendo that had he not signed with AEW, that he was going to be the guy to take the belt off of Nick Aldis. That never happened. He did sign with AEW, had a pretty stellar career with them so far. But some of the matches we could have had, Eddie Kingston versus the Pope, Eddie Kingston versus Nick Aldis, all of those would have been very fun to watch. We didn't get them. The other matchup that they were building for the Pope that never came to fruition was Nick Aldis versus the Pope, the TV champion versus the world champion. We didn't get that. And I'm always going to be upset, bothered, and a little bit angry that we didn't get that match. So that's what I was really excited about that. And I think that alone might be enough to get me to watch Power if I wasn't already going to watch it. And I don't know Sample Pro. Yeah, you could always share this. You could add me and I'll take a look at your stuff later. Feel free. Finn does WWE. What's up? Thanks for returning back to our live stream. Appreciate you. The Axolotl Kids on the YouTube channel. Watch what you say, gentlemen. Zip it. Buck Rogers. Retro's in the chat. What is up, Sam Retro? Retro, are you going to go to Gotham Wrestling? I know this is not NWA related, but it's in, I believe it's in upstate New York. I know that pal Rick Del Santo is going. I've encouraged Double D to go. Retro, are you going to go to Gotham Wrestling? That's the sister promotion to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and the United Wrestling Network. I'm curious if you're going to go or not. Steve, I probably won't be going to WOW just because October's a busy month for me and my family. We have birthdays. We have a lot of things going on that month. So I don't think I'll be able to get out to Vegas for it. I wish I could. big fan of Ruby Reyes, also known as Reina Del Rey. And they have their own alliance, and I feel like they should make me an honorary member of their alliance, as I would extend the same thing to their alliance. But we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, Steve, I'm super excited that the Pope is back. This is the guy that I feel like he immediately becomes a difference changer. He can cut promos. He looks good. He wrestles well. And it wasn't like the Pope has just been sitting at home twiddling his thumbs waiting for that NWA call. He was working for Derby City Wrestling while they were still running. He's had appearances at Memphis Championship Wrestling. He's also appeared at the All Caribbean Wrestling in the Caribbean, where he's been very active. That is the promotion that was co-founded by Mark Henry of the WWE. So he's been busy, and him coming back to the NWA, again, he wasn't just sitting there doing nothing. I really feel like it's going to be something interesting when he comes back and starts wrestling again. Retro says Serena Vale, Tess Warren, and Aubrey Allen all are from JCP. That's cool. We know that Serena Vale has her tag team match this week, and we know that she has another match at the 77th anniversary show. So that'll be cool. Can't wait to see what that is. Yeah, Retro. I have mine somewhere too. That was a lot of fun. The 75 Wrestling, the Alliance Summit. I'd like to do that again. Maybe next year. Depends. I don't use Surfshark. Noob says Markova has wrestled in some of the territories: NWA New Mexico, her upcoming Crossfire Pro debut, NWA Texas, but she hasn't wrestled in Joe Kazana Promotions before. That's interesting, Noob. I wasn't aware of that. That's really interesting. Will you watch TSW NWA Texas? They will post episodes every Monday. Each episode will be free for 24 hours. Sean, maybe it's hard, man. I'm watching a lot of wrestling as it is. I don't know if I could spare any more time, but I maybe. Look, I want all the NWA promotions to succeed, right? And NWA Texas is been one of those promotions that kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So we'll have to wait and see. Retro, I think Gotham is on a Tuesday night. That's one of the hallmarks of Dave Marquez working with the company that owns like the Improvs and the Levity Lives and all of that, is running the show on a Tuesday as opposed to the weekend, because most of those comedy clubs are closed on Tuesday nights. They don't do live events on Tuesdays. So having a wrestling show in that venue is taking advantage of, a day that they'd be closed anyways. So, the employees come in to get a few extra hours, the venue's making money by renting out the venue, and, the 2-drink minimum and all that stuff. So I guess we'll have to see. Waterloo. Watertown, not Waterloo. I was like, Waterloo, isn't that in that's where the Wrestling Hall of Fame is, no? Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Okay, so earlier in the show we were talking about one of the matches that were already announced for the NWA Saw win, and that is we were going to get the matchup between Trevor Murdoch and Alexander Hammerstone, a match that I am very much anticipating watching. I feel like that's going to be a killer match. But this match is very intriguing as well. If you guys haven't heard about it yet, Brian Idol is scheduled to defend the NWA TV Championship against Rich Swann, right? Rich Swann was at the NWA 77th anniversary show challenging for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship, unsuccessful in defeating Alex Taylor for that title. Is coming back to the NWA at Saw 3 in Atlanta, and he's going to be challenging Brian Idol for that television title. Now, we will say this: Brian Idol won the title at the Crockett Cup, defeating Carson Bartholomew Drake to capture that belt. We know that Idol has had a few defenses already. I don't know how many of those were actually recognized by the NWA and the Lucky 7 clause, but Brian Idol's looking at building his way up to a world title match with Silas Thrillbilly Mason. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But I feel like that's another very intriguing match to get Rich Swann to come back to the NWA. That to me is a pretty big deal as far as the TV title. We've talked about it last week on the Alliance Guys podcast. You have a lot of talent in the NWA, and we're not sure where everyone fits in. Like Trevor Murdoch is a 2-time former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He held the tag team titles with Mike Knox for well over a year, and now that Mike Knox is on the shelf, what are you going to do with Trevor Murdoch? And to me, and to a lot of the people in the chat, he's also former NWA national champion. Would it be insane to think that Trevor Murdoch could go and challenge for one of those titles, be it the television title or the national title, to get himself lined up for another world title shot? That doesn't sound crazy to me. And then you got Alexander Hammerstone, who I don't know exactly how long he's going to be available for the NWA either, right? Because, MLW wants to use him. They had that very amazing promo in MLW that MJF did with Hammerstone and kind of talking him up, but it seems like maybe Hammerstone might push himself forward in the MLW and try to get a shot at the world title. They recently had a world champion change there too. So we don't know what's going to happen with Hammerstone going down the road, but he'd be a guy that all day, every day, I would put my TV title on in a heartbeat, and maybe even the national title, because I feel like he could bring more credibility, more eyes to the show. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what's going to happen there. But we know that they are going to wrestle at Saw Win 3. And now we know Rich Swann, who most recently you may have seen on TNA Wrestling, will be back in an NWA ring following his 77 appearance. Now he'll be at Saw Win as well. So to me, those are two really big matches. And I'm thinking, man, I cannot travel anymore this year. I've done a lot of traveling. Like I have plans to go back to TJ for a couple of wrestling events. AAA is coming to TJ, the Crash back in TJ. Plus there's wrestling shows all over the Southern California that I plan to be a part of. So I don't think I'm going to be traveling anymore out of state to see pro wrestling, as my wife is glaring at me. But, October 17th, Saw Win looks very tempting, as they have already.
Where is that?
In Atlanta, center stage. Yeah, you don't want to go there.
I'm looking more for like Nashville or
Nashville?
Yeah. St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Ribs.
I love you.
I love you too.
You want to come say hi to everyone? It's that camera.
Tell him that we need to travel.
How about New York? Go on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah, when? What's the date?
I don't have it. It's not a real date.
Tuesday what?
I don't know. Go look up Gotham Wrestling. Jeez.
Gotham Wrestling, New York?
Yeah. My wife. Sean Mega says, Brian Idol, the golden child, Mr. NWA, future world heavyweight champ. Sean, do not wish that evil on me.
Oh, it's October 16th. I'll be in Dallas.
Oh, I guess I'll just have to go by myself.
No, we'll just go to the next one.
Let me show you something
That's Dave, right? I'll just message Dave.
Let me show you something real quick. This is for every Championship Wrestling from Hollywood event from now.
I love the picture he picked.
I was like, why that one?
He said because you look super proud, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
You look really proud to be at every show.
Yeah. They're calling you Karina because I guess that's what Kevin Owens' wife name is. Oh, Kevin Owens is still alive. Hey, no, she's not.
Hi, guys.
You still hate Brian Idol because I still think he's not world champion material and he's not a draw. I agree, Noob. I'm not the one saying that he's a world champion, a future world champion. I'm just saying, like, if you're talking storyline wise for the National Wrestling Alliance, he is leveraged to be a guy who could challenge for the 10 pounds of gold. I don't want Brian Idol to win the title. I don't want Brian Idol on my TV. I want Brian Idol to keep booking new event areas and perhaps making new relationships with territories. To me, and I love Jeremiah Plunkett. He's like the little brother I always wanted. But maybe I would like to see Jeremiah Plunkett win the Joe Kazana Promotions Southeastern title. And maybe I'd like to see Brian Idol win the NWA Mid-America Championship. And if Brian Idol was the NWA Mid-America Championship, then he would have a reason to travel to New Mexico, to St. Louis, to Florida, to Tennessee, to Texas, to defend that title. He's not a TV champion. Let me rephrase that. He is the TV champion. But you're not the TV title shouldn't be defended on live house shows. It should be defended only on TV. Hence the name, Television Championship. I don't know. That makes sense to me. Call me crazy, but yeah. I said it first. Brian Idol will win the World Heavyweight title next spring. God, I hope you're wrong. Sean, I hope you're wrong. We could still be friends, but I hope you're wrong. Sweet Vanilla, are you still around? She's not around. Sorry. She took off. But yeah, so I don't know. We've got this really good card shaping up for Saul Win. Tonight's Power looks pretty good. And then, of course, you got to talk a little bit about what's coming next for the NWA because, look, Saul Win and they still kind of advertise it as such because, again, they don't recognize title changes until they happen on TV. But they're advertising for Saul Win. You've got Tom Latimer, Kenzie Page, the Southern Six, Alex Taylor, and Kerry Morton, the U.S. Tag Champions. Matt Cardona is scheduled for this event. So, like, already you've got Rich Swann, Matt Cardona, and Alexander Hammerstone. Those are three pretty big names on the independent wrestling scene going to be at the Saul Win event. Then you've got TVMA. They will be defending their tag titles. Mims will be there. Brian Idol will probably have a TV title defense. Markova will be there. EC3 and Pretty Boy Smooth, the Holy Grail. Wouldn't be surprised if the Holy Grail get a shot at the World Tag Team titles. Even though maybe the Colognes should have been the ones to get that title match. But we'll have to kind of wait and see on that one. And then, of course, there's the Riot Fest. And if you're following the NWA social media, you've got Kylie Paige talking about it. You've got, again, Natalia Markova, Brian Idol will be there. Carson Drake will be there. They're really building up Riot Fest with a lot of the NWA talent. Again, over the 3 days of Riot Fest, they're going to have Blink-182, Weird Al Yankovic, Weezer, Jack White, the Sex Pistols, Green Day, and the NWA. So you're going to have the Page sisters, Brian Idol, Markova, Alex Taylor, Aaron Stevens, Carson Drake, and I'm sure there'll be more too. I'm sure we'll see guys like the Southern Six there as well. So it's all kind of the Holy Grail should be there. So again, some pretty big things are coming up for the NWA, and I feel like this is I keep saying it, but like post, not the Riot Squad. Did I say that incorrectly? Not the Riot Squad. It's going to be the Riot Fest. Not related to the WWE at all. Sorry, Mike. Didn't mean to let you down there. And then Sean Megan says next for the NWA should be no tapings until January. Gosh, I hope. You know what, Sean? There's two things there. There's two things. One, if the NWA doesn't have a live or it doesn't film TV until January, then the last thing we'll see is these the Saul Win, which kind of makes sense. I got you, Lesh. I understand what you're going with that one. So if they don't film anything to January, the turnaround time for January needs to be quick and concise. So there is some positive. That's kind of positive. there's some positivity around that comment. But then at the same time, like, what do you do? What do you do? What title is Dave Dahl going to win next? Do they have any pie-eating competitions set up for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators? I'm sure Dave Dahl can win one of those. Don't most of the territories have some sort of TV, though? Yeah, it seems like either YouTube or Title Match Network or now like streaming services. It does seem like we're seeing a lot more of the territories on media out there. I don't know. I think Crossfire does the Title Match Network. Joe Kazana Promotions has a YouTube channel. St. Louis, WLW has a YouTube channel. Texas, I believe theirs is connected to an actual TV station, and I'm not too sure about that. A friend of the show, James, sent me a message about where I could watch it, and then I know Sean Mega posted in here just a second ago, but I haven't really looked into it. It's just it's kind of hard to get back to it. Holiday break, that makes sense. That makes sense, Sean. Remember last year they did film after Thanksgiving, and then they did their first live event of the year in January. But again, we didn't see that till like March. And unfortunately, that's also right around the time Jack Stain passed away. And there was a lot of confusion over that too. And that was a bummer. Not really looking forward to that. Double D, you might be late, but you're still great. Double D, are you going to go to Gotham Wrestling in upstate New York on Tuesday? I don't remember what the date is. I really need to get my S together when it comes to that. Because I know it's coming up in October. Let me see. Why? I didn't want to send them a message. October 16th in West Nyack, New York. If you say it fast enough, it sounds like you have an accent. West Nyack. West Nyack. Are you going to go to that, Double D? How far away from you? How far away from West Nyack are you, Double D? Michael Lesh, like, I know we're just becoming friends, but I am 100% one of those PMA guys, power positive thinking. Like, that is my wheelhouse for sure. But I think that's a good stopping place. We talked about a lot of things here regarding to the NWA. We talked about the 2 matches that have been announced for Saul Win. We did a deep dive on the matches that are happening on Power tonight. You can watch those tonight. Roku Sports, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, or on demand whenever you want on the Roku channel. You just type in NWA. You gotta look for wrestling though, not NWA music, because they do have an NWA documentary about the band with the same name. That's a 6.5 hours. Okay. Yeah, understood. Never mind. Patrick Moore, I will tell you with 100% certainty it will be on YouTube in some shape or form. Because they're definitely going to put that on YouTube. I just don't know if it'll be on the Memphis channel or if it'll be on the United Wrestling Network channel. And I know that they're looking for those that live in that market, that New York market. There are going to be on a lot of channels. I think they got some clearance recently from Gray Media, which is a big provider of sports channels. But let me see. Dave Marquez recently posted about it. Let me see. I saw it not too long ago. Let's see. Still in negotiations with TV outlets in the Northeast, but happy to share that the United Wrestling Network Gotham Wrestling has been cleared on NESN and Sportsnet Pittsburgh, New York, Philly, Baltimore to follow. Don't forget to join us October 16th at the West Nyack Levity Live for our first television event. Tickets are on sale now at GothamWrestling.com. Featuring talents from the United Wrestling Network, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and WWE ID talent. Patrick Moore. There was a lawsuit. Guess who won? The wrestling promotion that still calls itself the NWA. Yeah, Double D. I mean, look, if Gotham Wrestling takes off, they'll be doing a lot of stuff out there. Yes, and I understand that too. They're trying to get clearance all over the Northeast. They're trying to make Gotham Wrestling as popular as Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and I think it has a lot of potential to do so. And what will be very cool is if we see, the current UWN World Champion Jordan Cruz defend the title out there. If we get guys like all of a sudden I'm drawing blanks on names. If you get Evan Daniels, exciting Evan Daniels, the television champion, or EJ Sparks, the heritage champion, defending the titles out there. The Wolf Zaddies defending the tag titles. I mean, I think that's going to be really good. The Gotham Network is the Yankees, so I'm not sure if he's tied with it or not. Yeah, I think I think he was trying to get on the Yankees Sports Network. Is that yes? I don't know. Gotham Wrestling have to be dark chaos action gimmicks. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be just an East Coast version of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Tell me more about the lawsuit. I mean, there's not a whole lot to tell. The NWA as a whole has existed since 1948 and has promoted it such as a sanctioning body of professional wrestling since 1948. The NWA came into existence in the mid 80s, late 80s. And I don't think that there was much of a leg to stand in. How are you going to tell a sanctioning body of professional wrestling that they can't use that name that they've been using, predating you for like 50 years, or 40 years? Like, come on, it's crazy. I don't know who CJ Blaine is. Sorry. I don't know. Gotham bought Yes and Madison Square Garden Network. Okay. So then I would be surprised if that's the plan. I don't know enough about it. But that's where we're going to halt today, guys. I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me on this Tuesday. That's 2 hours in. We did 1 hour here on the pre-party. We did another hour on TikTok. If you want to see all of it, you just got to, follow us at all social media, everywhere. You want to be up to date at the Alliance blog. That's TikTok. That's Instagram. That's Facebook. That's X. That's YouTube. That's Twitch. That's Kick. That's Tumblr. I think we're on Tumblr. I don't know where else, but almost everywhere. On Scoops. Follow us on Scoops. But until then, guys, we're going to call it a night. We're going to call it a day. We're going to thank you for viewing this live stream with us and appreciate you for hanging out with us. And until next time, we'll see you at the matches. Thank you for tuning in to the Alliance Blog Network. You've been watching The Pre-Party with J. Cal, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. Join us next week, and we'll be live Tuesday, 5 p.m. On the West Coast. What is it? 2 p.m. East, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. I really should do this recording. And until next time, we'll see you at the matches. Wait, I got to get rid of that first. Hold on now. Wait a minute. I can't have that being on the end screen.